Stephen, it started back in 2003 when Julie Balmer took on her drug-addicted sister's brand new child. So from birth to 6 weeks, everything appeared to be fine. And suddenly she took the child to the hospital, and eventually she was convicted of a child abuse that the jury here said never happened.
Oh, boy. It was just, I was very, very excited. You know, this nightmare I'd been living for 7 years was finally over.
34-year-old Julie Balmer went from convicted child abuser to a not guilty verdict at the end of a nearly 4-week trial this morning. She thanked members of the jury for determining she did not hurt her 6-week-old nephew back in 2003. That the September 2005 conviction that sent her to state prison for 10 to 15 years was wrong because of inaccurate claims of shaken baby or abuse that prosecutors concluded injured the child.
This was a misdiagnosis, that this was actually a form of a childhood stroke where you can see that the veins leading the blood out of the brain were thrombosed, had blockages. And the consequence of that is that those blockages cause the brain to bleed in very many places so that it mimics shaken baby syndrome.
Nearly a dozen medical specialists testified for the defense and the prosecution during the trial. But the jurors decided not guilty was the only reasonable verdict, that according to the jury foreman.
But the bottom line is, can we tie these things to Julie Balmer? And without, there is reasonable doubt we could not do that.
For Julie and her family, the not guilty verdict is sweet.
Not only relief for myself, but my family as well, you know. I mean, they've been all going through this with me, particularly me, like my father, you know. Everybody else is out of state, but, you know, my father just turned 79 yesterday, and I was so scared of something happening bad on his birthday. I was like, for the rest of his life, he will always hate his birthday because of me.
No word yet from the Macomb County prosecutor as to whether or not an appeal is in the works, but for now, Julie and her family will savor that not guilty verdict and her freedom. Reporting live from Mount Clemens, Bill Proctor, Channel 7 Action News.
Yeah, she'll never get that 4 years back, though, Bill. Any indication from her what she's going to do about that?
Well, no, it's not necessarily a wrongful conviction. It's just what her defense attorney said, a misdiagnosis. And most certainly in this particular case, it just may reverberate throughout the entire nation as these cases now, these shaken baby or abuse cases, may get a closer look before prosecutors decide to charge someone.
All right, Bill Proctor reporting live from Mount Clemens. Thank you.